So what was the quote for last week?
The quote was, "Don't do duvets," with like 15 S's at the end. But I'm not sure what that came from.
Because Handy David tried to change all the duvets in the rows at the same time.
That's right.
Yes, and that's what caused him to go.
Yeah. So Astreus was playing Infinite Pool. We returned to the rows. There were lots of people outside, including the police, and the detective was played by J.K. Simmons.
General Hubbard.
General Hubbard. And his second in command, Major Commotion. Yeah, Handsy Dave looked like he was dead, but he wasn't. He just tried to change all of the duvets at once. Hawk made EpiPen to save him. And then we made a portal to Malala. We travelled there and we were inside a floating teacup. And then we portaled down to town, and then we were going to take the dragon back. And that's where we were.
And we said about keeping the dragon head. And I was like, I'm not too fast, but I thought we were. And then he's like, you're going to regret this. Let's not do that then.
Initially, Ryzark had refused and said that you had to take the head back as well.
Was that so I spent this in?
Yeah, because Ryzark's spirit is now in the
Sortier.
haunted sortier. Slightly haunted sortier.
Yep.
And he'd agreed, but he said, if you do this, this will leave a imbalance of power and you'll have to pay the consequences.
I reckon we should just put him back in the head and shove the whole thing through the...
You can do if you like.
Yeah.
It makes it easier, doesn't it? We don't really need a dragon head. It wasn't like a, wow, this is fortunate. We needed a dragon head right now.
I'm happy to do that, yeah. There's no...
Yeah, for us, man, just been hiding somewhere and stuff. So, yeah.
Not that I'm trying to tempt or anything.
Stats for a dragon head.
No, all the stuff I can get out of it. I knew that was coming.
First card of the evening is the Blind Guardian.
Valhalla, deliverance. Have you ever forgotten me, Valhalla?
Which is generally a positive card.
It seems like we're looking after this thing in the guardianship way. You blind.
The Blind Guardian watches over us like a protector. That's probably because it's probably our Doric guards. Because of its blindness, it confronts all intruders equally, from the lowest vermin to the most powerful god, the purest angel to violent demon. Its blindness also confers a calmness. You'll never see the Guardian worry or fret, nor will you see it anger or eager or anticipatory. Those that seek what it guards, it is a difficult challenge. You can't bribe it or charm it. Despite its blindness, it's very difficult to fool or deceive.
That head could come in very handy
Could it?
Yes.
If,
Seriously,
Silver magic is double enhanced. Because it's a silver card on the silver sun, and it is
level
the
8 power sources for making stuff in there. That's really handy, and they're expensive. And there, I have it all ready to go.
we've already got Ryzark in the sortier, so we might as well just take the sortier.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Because then there's also the logistical problem of how do we get this dragon head from the Rose to the Glade to get it through the portal without people going, "Oh, what's that you've got there?" Nothing.
Thing is though, does ingredients outweigh a species going?
Well, he's dead. He's
Yeah,
dead either
yeah.
way.
Yeah, we can't.
You can't attach his head to his
Body, no.
Not that we know anyway.
Well, he's dead. Let's settle with this relatively known thing.
Okay.
And it's
He's
he
an
wanted.
ex-parrot.
Yeah. We could always nail him back to a perch.
We could. That we could.
It's paid in for the fjords.
Oh, God bless.
Anywho, so he's dead.
Yeah.
It's not about a species thing. He just wants to go back to his country, and he's agreed to go back in whatever vessel. He doesn't. Not that he doesn't care, but he's not so attached to his head.
That's true. Yeah, okay, we're keeping the head. I'll just bump that one again.
It's really weighing it against this threat of, you regret it. But maybe that's just a, hey, you regret it because he wants to take his head with him.
What does everybody want?
Yeah, we'll take him.
Alright then. So, we're going to put the head upstairs in your room.
I'll deal with that. Yeah.
Let's put it up there now, because if we go off to this glade and silly things happen while we're gone for a couple of hours, Handy Days goes, whoa, the dragon's head.
Yeah.
Something goes out. Let's do that now, and then we'll go back to the glade and portal pop. Bye bye.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean the sorted goes with him? Yeah, I'll have to give up the sorted.
No, you just let him out.
He's got to have some vessel.
He's
though,
got to have a
isn't he?
vessel though.
From what you remember, because it was only like the day before or whatever, he'd said that his spirit needed to be free in his home realm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
it could
yeah,
be-
we
could
can
be
just do that.
reborn into the body of a new dragon.
Yeah, just go and,
Release him from
open
there.
the lid on the spiritual jam jar and shake him out.
Fly
Yes.
free!
Be free, dragon. Be free. Yeah, let's
Like
do that
releasing
then.
a fairy in Zelda.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
Not
you.
that one.
Hey, listen.
Damn you, Navi. Damn you!
She's
It's a shame I can't do the impression of the moon.
Do you know what would make the moon from
Terminal.
Tono even worse? If it was the Moomin in the moon.
Yeah, that would actually.
Moonmins.
Moomins. No. They're doing a Moomin movie.
Yay!
A Moomin V?
Pete will be happy because Pete loves them.
Yeah, I think they're doing it live action with CGI Moomins.
That's
But
cool.
I thought every
Because it worked so well for Garfield
Yeah.
and
But
But
Smurfs.
apparently it's worked quite well for Sonic.
Sonic.
Second time round.
Yeah. Which I think was all deliberate anyway.
So the now follows a hijinks stroke montage scene of the three of you trying to navigate this dragon head up the stairs.
Pivot!
And it's like the most awkward sofa to get upstairs. You know, the topography of the rows is kind of fairly flexible in general, but it's just flexing in the opposite directions. I swear this staircase used to be wider. We've got a jukebox up here, no problem.
Where's a teleporting friend when you need him?
He's still playing infinite pool.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
But after an
Several
hour,
bruised chins and a
yeah,
squashed thumb. As which is Handy's name.
yeah, or several squashed thumbs and a bruised chin. Manages to bruise every single one of his thumbs. He's technically got an infinite number of hands. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt. It's an experience you know.
His manicurist loves him.
Squished it in a corridor when I was 8 years old and it split in two.
Yeah,
Never gonna go back.
Cleft in twain.
Split in twain. Anyhow.
You got your
I
stuck
did
in
the same thing.
the
But
cupboard,
mine
so now
didn't
you have a
split.
sexy thumb.
I have sexy thumb. Because it's just a really nice thumbnail. Fell off completely. Like the whole thing came off. But it just grows really nice. It's the only fingernail that grows really nicely. Because the others are all weird shaped.
Like some odd version of the what's the bad guy from Mystery Men with the one thumb, one shopping
It took a
thumbnail.
year. I wore a blue plaster on it for about a year because I refused to
It's
like
only
take it
good
off
Ben Stiller
myself.
film.
So and then it fell off. I was on a trampoline in France, and I was like, when I got off the trampoline, I was like, where's my plaster gone? Oh, totally he was like that short, and then he grew out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the first time my dad ever heard me swear. Because I full on properly didn't just like trap it a little bit. I shut the whole door on myself at the beginning of a camping holiday with Dad.
Dad was trapped in a Volvo car door and Dad locked the car door and he couldn't find the keys again. So he was trapped for a period of time.
Okay, yours was okay, you win that one. Ouch. Mine was
My
open.
toes are cringing.
Oh crap, I
I
did
feel a
that and
little
then
bit
opened the
nauseous
door.
now.
Yeah, no wonder that.
Yeah, can we just place an N on?
Yeah.
What's the end mean again?
No, not as hard as the X, but it's like no.
Right.
Yeah, so you get the head
It's upstairs.
Yes. And then
Go
head
off to
back
the
out
glade.
to
The
the
glade.
glade. Cool beans. Astralis heads out with you because he was in the pub anyway because
Why didn't he teleport the dragon head up the stairs?
He thought it'd be funny.
He was too
He
busy
didn't-
laughing. He couldn't
Yeah.
concentrate between the
He was the one
giggles.
that was flexing the dimensions of the corridors.
The wrong way.
Basically, I had a word with Thomas about what he would do, and there was an agreement. I think when you went there, that once, because the portal that he's made is permanent, but he can switch it off quite easily. I think there was an agreement that was made there that once you'd returned Rysark to his home realm, that you closed the
Yeah.
gateway because it's literally just outside the confines of the city. So.
Seems to be a thing where lots of people see. It's a uncommon place.
Yes. And so you kind of get back to the glade, and then there's that shimmering portal
Stargate.
effect. Oh yeah, it was a star.
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Indeed.
Oh, because you'd raised up a round stone thing around it, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I'd forgotten about that. And the portal's still open in front of it, and you can kind of sense very much a
Does it feel as if anything's come through whilst we've been away or anything?
Can you
Oh,
tell
no.
that kind of thing?
I know.
The thing is, we were lucky because the other
Is
end,
there any
the other
really
end of the
big
portal.
dragon
was-
size
they're in the other end of the
footprints
portal.
leading away from
There's
the
got a teacup
portal?
that's high in
Yeah.
the sky. So
Yeah.
if anyone was going to be,
I before I left, I didn't tell you this. I put a bit of hair along the portal just to see.
Actually,
broken branches.
you have
and-
Borno vision, don't you?
I do.
Can you make a perception check, please? Difficulty 6.
because I thought if we come through,
What's
someone could have
enhanced? Did
witnessed
you
it.
say?
Silver.
Silver magic
Mm.
and the House of Visions.
I have a 9.
Fantastic. As far as you can tell, the grass around this portal it's not. There's no footprints or anything, no tracks. Undisturbed.
Cool.
Oh, you're gonna float.
No heebie-jeebies. Let's go.
Then they just staying alive.
I really want that to be a thing now. They're like Bee Gees and Michael Jackson mixed Thriller and Staying Alive.
The hee BGBs.
That Michael Jackson wrestler was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he was quite good. So yeah, again you go through the portal and it's got that strange sensation of being stretched into infinity and then kind of
So that's not
catapulted.
being drunk, didn't they say?
Yeah. It's rather unlike being drunk. What's so bad about being drunk? You ask a glass of water. Oh, I'll never be cruel to a gin and tonic again. And then you're back in this cup.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we go like to the lip. Oh, it was pouring out, so we have to. But we knew this was coming.
Yeah.
And we'd already made the ground more frictious from. What's that word?
You'd put some like
Higher.
anti-slip
Yeah. Higher level of friction.
cuttings. Yeah.
So we're not falling out of the cup. I think we gingerly make our way down and just kind of pour it out the edge of the cup.
yeah.
unleash the dragon from the
Mhm.
sortier.
Yes, give me a teacup.
You don't want me to wake the dragon.
Actually, we do. Bye bye.
Right now, yeah. Yes, we'll do that. I whisper whatever I need to whisper at my sortier. Set his spirit free.
Okay, so you kind of sense it waking up and snarling and growling at the back of your head. In fact, you all hear it and feel it. And then you kind of hold your sortier out, and the previously black blade, which is now kind of white, it kind of starts to dissipate and fade out, and you sense you see a ghostly presence just kind of drifting out of this thing.
Get a knife into it.
Oh, just Michael J. Fox said.
Moving on.
Heavy. Have you seen the deep fake of a scene from Back to the Future, but they've got Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr.
It
as
looks
Marty
really
and Doc?
good.
It looks
I
amazing.
think I shall have to have a look at that one. So, as the spirit kind of drifts out, it then forms a spectral image of the head, but kind of living. And the voice says, "You have honoured your side of this bargain."
His side of the bargain was. We weren't getting anything out of it, but we took the head. Okay.
Yep, that's all we can do.
Wonderful.
Ta-ta now.
And what is to happen of this doorway between worlds?
Closed.
Permanently sealed?
Yes.
As much as it can be. Although I can't open it.
Good. I will apply what skills I can from this side to ensure that this realm is separate from yours.
Well, you might want to have a look at your own inhabitants, because they're the ones that broke through.
I can feel all of the weak spots. My senses have extended across this entire realm. I can feel those places, and rest assured I will take steps to reinforce the doorway between worlds. So when your precious path comes to crashing to an end, Lana will stay alive.
Okay, so we just...
How does he know that last? And when? It comes crashing to an end.
What do you know that we don't know?
I mentioned that there would be a price to pay for this imbalance of power, and you, Master Gunslinger, hold the key to the destruction of your Path of Suns.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah,
I've got
that was nothing. That was nothing new. So
You're going to read that next time. What do I need to do?
No, I don't know.
well, that may be so. He's aware of that anyway. When or how it happens, we don't know. But
There is one gift I shall give you as a token of gratitude. And then each of you, kind of in your the forefront of your brain, he speaks a word. You can each add 3 to your hidden knowledge pools, which is something that I think everybody forgets that they've all got.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, totally.
Can you give me a rubber, please? Oh.
And then he says, "And to you, Roland of the House of Eld, I would speak one more word. The others of you go. This is for his ears alone."
We're only going to the entrance. He will be coming through with us.
You
I,
managed to speak the others into our heads. You don't want into our heads.
I'd say to Raja that they are my quartet and we share Kef. What you tell me, you can tell them.
I sense you are not going to be moved on this matter. Okay, so both of you two can take 2 points of anguish.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Sorry.
Might not be a good thing.
And you'll take 1 point of anguish.
Excellent.
If I remember rightly.
I nearly did.
Did my anguish from
Yeah, I'm
thingy
dead.
heal?
I
do I
don't
still have that?
understand how this works.
The 1 point that you took from where Mia stabbed you
Mhm.
is not healing at all.
Excellent.
Have you all taken
1 point already.
1 point
so,
already?
So he's
Okay. How...
dead.
That was when he grumbled before going into the sortie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd spent... How long was the scene of you lifting this? Actually, no, you can spend a point of intellect to negate a point of anguish.
Okay.
Still bloody damn close.
Yeah.
How do we get rid of English?
Oh, you heal. A 1 hour rest will heal a wound or an anguish.
Gosh.
And he speaks a name that doesn't necessarily translate into any language that can be spoken by mortal beings.
So it's Welsh then.
Something like that.
Oh, ancient Draconic is just Welsh.
Makes sense. That goes from.
That's how you speak Welsh.
Oh. Gotta have a pint of phlegm at the back of your throat.
What?
wouldn't
How do you talk if you've got a cold?
you? What in Welsh?
Well,
I'll ask Dave 9 next time.
Just don't know that.
I wouldn't dare ask you 9 then.
Do I know the
Alan?
name?
Maybe.
you know the root of it. It is a demonic name.
Great.
Does it mean 9?
Is it 19's true name?
Yes.
Let's use some intellect here,
And hidden knowledge.
and I'll use a point of hidden knowledge.
Guess what you're on now?
I know. That's why I'm doing it.
The camera.
Don't know if the camera will pick it up, but not magic. So
It wasn't going to be.
But it is now.
It is now.
So yeah, 7.
There will be a cost to use that name, as there always is when dealing with his kind.
Is it one of those if you know the name you can control everything?
You get
Names have big power.
Sorry, carry on.
whether or not you choose to pay that price closer to the time, Gunslinger. That is something for you and your quartet. Decide.
Roland puts one heel out, taps his throat 3 times, and bows to the spirit of the dragon.
As we go through the portal and it shuts behind us, I'm like, thanks for the ingredients, bitch.
Don't Jesse Pinkman this.
And just as you are kind of being pulled into it, he goes, "This realm is mine at last. Free of body, I can rule."
Yeah. We may have to do an entire
population.
Rather him kind of rule over his own world, not our world.
Yeah, that's
And Astraeus is kind of stood there waiting for you at the other side. He kind of, in typical Astraeus fashion, and you sense that the portal it kind of goes. All of you can sense that obviously the stone ring is still there because he can't get rid of that. But you can all kind of feel that this place.
I get rid of that. Because actually, like, people keep coming back, and if there is a stone ring there, something else might be built in its place. So,
Yep.
I get rid of any evidence there's ever anything there.
Fantastic. But there's still a sense that there is power in this glade. Almost more so than there was beforehand.
Because when we had the big kerfuffle that wasn't as big as I think I was planned it to be, when Eliana and Caliban went off, we got told we'd been there 18 times before and this was the 19th.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
So this is now our 21st visit.
Yeah, but could any of us remember going to this place that many times? And not in this way, you know, it's a weird kind of central point.
Yeah, it's like a place of power. Stuff.
Like in
Where
Skyrim.
ley lines cross
Yeah.
and things.
Like in Skyrim, all the Witcher.
You shouldn't have come here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something I could do this week. We finish Blood and Wine.
Oh yeah.
Only 400 days until season 2 of The Witcher drops.
400 days?
It's not out until the beginning of next year.
That's not fair.
I know.
Oh, did you enjoy it then?
I did.
Because I didn't know
Much
if you
needed
finished it. So told you, getting to the end is like, all right, once you got through all the.
It wasn't so bad. It was engaging, but it was a bit violent, obviously.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Because I didn't find it carbon engaging, so.
No.
What you doing now?
Well, before this interruption involving dragons and people from another realm, what were we up to?
We had gone to the
Hey!
Totally
Is it?
the Messiah.
Oh, we've had that before. We'd gone to the.
we'd gone into a hate cyst because we had basically a PKE meter.
Yeah, we'd made a.
What things have you got on the table just that you're kind of working on in general?
What the list was.
I have a to-do list. Make right with Harlequin. Meh. Find Dawn. Done. Fix Estrellos. Meh.
We've done that though, haven't we? Really?
Protect. Is he fixed? Is he fixed?
Is he
He's never.
fixable?
He's never gonna be like, you know.
But he got lost in
Uzukai.
Uzukai, and we're not really sure what happened after that.
No.
So I feel he's still not fixed. Protect Rose. Find out what's going on because the demons kept threatening and coming at us, and they kept coming at us, and they kept coming at us. And now they've come and taken over. Penantella's deceased,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
and 19 just keeps showing up. And because he saw you in the library, did he offer you something? Didn't he? Or tried to?
He tried to, but
hit him with a train.
I just hit him with a train.
And then they came, and he came as well to the glade.
Yeah.
On the 19th time we were there.
Yeah.
And then Crystal Fire and his mates, including Fred, who's my old boy.
Yeah.
Who I didn't realise was a
Fred, Hugo 64, Brian Walker, and Jafar.
that's my style. No, but Fred was had a mask like Crystal Fire had, so he was part of him as well. We don't know about the others necessarily. So there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Crystalfire had wanted to know about Eliana, but we'd always hidden him.
Yep.
But because they came to our rescue, maybe they're more trustworthy, so we could go back and actually have a talk with Crystalfire and find out a bit more, see what he knows about demons, stuff like that. We were working on hate cysts. So
Yeah,
we'd made a theory that actually the Deathless Triumvirate, I got it right, yay, was making hate cysts out of cruxes of great joy and great pain, and just taking the joy out. So we were looking to fix that maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher wants to speak with Eliana, just covered that, and Dennis is still missing.
Oh, you know exactly where Dennis is.
Well, exactly.
Somewhere
We
in
just
her
can't.
pocket.
We just
Missing
can't get
still.
him back.
Yeah,
I didn't say
he's just
he's
missing in a
lost.
different
I
place.
didn't say he was lost. I said he's missing. He's not in the place he should be.
Where should Dennis be?
Not in her pocket. So, I kind of feel, possibly Hex's are a thing of this, but I feel that protecting the rose, the demons, and Crystal Fire probably are all quite interlinked, and maybe even the horn.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were sent to find the horn by who?
It was after I had come back from wherever it was when I went through the doors that were on the beaches, and I came back from one of them, and I had just been told that I needed to find the horn, but I don't know who.
Okay, so that could have been demonic. It could have been something, because we know this invisible.
Yeah, it could have been, but I think it was more of it's something that I've always known that I just remembered, if that makes sense.
But we had a thing, didn't we, that because the invisible path is, let me get this right, it's a spell that was spoken is being spoken. There's a centre somewhere, and it's kind of coming out from the centre.
All of the creation of the actuality and everything. The absent architect cast a spell, and it echoed out in all directions, forwards and backwards in time. So there is a centre of creation where the spell was cast.
I wonder, it's literally just got to go into my head, if we're the backwards in time, if we're heading towards that spell being cast, and if that is the case, and the rose is the universe, like we think it's bigger than just the pub and just Eliana and just different things. If it is that spell, now maybe the horn is intrinsic to that, to be both it destroyed to reach point zero and then recreated again.
Yeah.
We have to do this to make sure that our world currently exists.
Yeah, where's my
Some deep stuff.
It is.
My brain literally cannot cope with that right now. It's like, what? Not Hawks, me, Kelly. I mean, I'm like, Jesus.
I was like, I'm okay today. I'm going to get stuff done while I can.
Yeah, one blast of the horn will bring down the tower. 2 blasts of the horn will rebuild the tower, and 3 blasts of the horn will essentially be a cosmic reset.
Which, if we're heading towards point zero, is kind of what we're going towards anyway. No, this is a big if, obviously.
I am rather reluctant to blow the horn at the moment.
Oh, no.
Not saying
But I'm just thinking that if these things are linked in with each other, so maybe the demons know this because they're outside of this invisible sun. Maybe they know that when we're going towards this reset, they could reset it in their image. They could have what they want doing it, and we need it to be created as it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To keep things going.
Exactly. So the Anisoptera Knights order still. I am on fire this evening. They could know about this, and this be like their quest through the ages. They're aware that Eliana's a part of it. They're aware that we're parts of it, but they don't know how it all fits together. This is why they keep having like secret meetings with us, and they still well dodge to us, but they're just trying to piece it all together still. They know bits, but
And
obviously-
maybe it's almost as if
They are.
we need to be like, okay, we're aware of something's going on. Let us in.
Yeah. Tell us what you know. We'll tell you what we
We
know,
know.
and have a real cards on the table type of thing, and see what they know about the demons. See if there is this growth, because if these demons are coming in and having pups here, then actually we need to think about
the
that.
demon stronghold is getting stronger.
Yeah.
19 keeps popping up like a flipping zit that won't go away. Doesn't matter how much flipping astringent you put on it, it keeps appearing back. And yeah,
I like astringent. It's a good word.
good word. Yeah, I've just used all my brain power with one word. Yeah, wherever I was going, that I can't remember. But yeah, trying to think, going, okay, we're obviously brought together for a reason. Shit's going down. We're aware that there is this organisation that could potentially actually help us, and maybe we need to talk to them.
So we're gonna
Just
go
a question. 19 in Roman numerals, is it X, 1X? Which is kind of a...
palindrome.
That's the one. X. The middle of the line in the centre.
Mhm.
Did you design that as a happy coincidence?
We'll
My
never know.
theory. Okay.
So we're gonna talk to Crystal Fire.
Yeah,
We've been avoiding him for long enough, I think.
yeah. And I think also that I've always wanted to protect Eliana, but she's kind of out of my protection at the moment.
And she's part of it anyway. She's in it just as
but
much as we are.
she's with
Fizzler.
Fizzler.
Yeah,
Like,
she's a safe boat.
I have no power over him or her to do anything. Yeah.
And hopefully she's as safe as she can be.
Yeah.
Because she is.
Yeah. So we had a card, didn't we? He said, if you
Mm.
need me, contact me. So I think maybe we do this while we're in the glade, because this is this convergent place,
Yeah.
and we can ask him about what this glade is about, because like I said, if we've been here for 19 times before, and maybe there's something about this place as well that's important.
Let's do it.
Nothing happens for 5-10 minutes, but then you feel a kind of familiar. It almost starts with, you know, that smell of a match that's just been struck. That kind
Fire.
of
Sulphur.
phosphorus flash, very quickly followed by the smell of a candle that's just been snuffed out. One of the best smells in the world. And then a line of fire comes up and traces a doorway, and then the scenery just kind of swings open, and you can kind of just see through into the office that you went to, and
Do you want to leave your coat? Has it got all the pockets in it? In the pocket dimension, in the pocket dimension, in the pocket dimension?
and out steps
He's coming to our
Crystal
place.
Fire.
We're all-
Fine.
so wearing his pretty much immaculate suit and the beautifully jewelled dragonfly mask, and he kind of steps through and closes the door behind him, and the line of fire just disappears. Lady, gentlemen, you rang, I believe the commonly accepted phrase is.
You rang.
I am going to have somebody played by Carol Stroiken.
Sorry?
Carol Stroiken, the guy that played Lurch in the Addams Family films.
Yeah.
Still around? I can't imagine somebody looking like that as a wild person.
I don't know. He was in his 50s when because he had a massive career, one of the most influential Dutch artists and actors.
Really? Good one. Okay. So a while ago, you were chatting, you wanted information about Eliana and what we were doing and things like this. I must admit, at the time, I didn't trust you. I didn't know you. I still don't know you.
God, I don't trust him, so.
I'm so uncertain whether I trust you, but with recent events and your apparent familiarity with people I do trust, like Fred, I'm willing to open lines of communication better. And actually, a whole load of stuff has gone on recently that I feel is bigger than we thought. And if you're able to help us and we're able to help you for the better good, we want to make those connections happen.
A turn up for the books indeed, and not unappreciated. Master Astraeus, could you take us somewhere for lunch? And Astraeus goes, just a place. Pop. And you find yourself in an eatery in the Marquis Quarter, or stood outside an eatery because it's quite rude to teleport into a restaurant, called the Magniloquent Moth.
Magniloquent?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It means exactly what you think it means. Ah.
It sounds like it's something really boring, trying to be posh, like Magnolia, trying to be better.
Hey, Magnolia has its place.
Is Magnolia one of those colours that only women can see?
No, Magnolia is the same colour that all new houses
All new
seem
houses
to be
are painted.
painted.
What colour is Magnolia?
Our
Beige.
Our flat.
Beige.
Is,
So
that's not
it's-
beige. Beige is brown. Magnolia is not brown.
It's just off-white, like a tiny bit yellow,
But yeah.
but
So it's
only
one of
off-white.
those colours that
Yeah.
only women can see. Because men can essentially see, red, blue, green.
What colours are flat? Do you think our flat's white?
No.
That
What colour is that?
Magnolia.
So that's Magnolia.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of say that that's dirty white.
Yeah. Very much.
Yellowy white.
Ew.
I was in church yesterday and Dave was like, can kids see colour? I'm like, yeah. Why do they draw people pink? Well, generally because they give them felt tip pens that only come in pink. They don't have flesh coloured pens.
Yep.
This is a menu for the Magniloquent Moth, presented by culinary artiste and gourmet conjurer Salande. Do I know about this place and have I wanted to come here for ages?
It's been on your list, been on your radar. Getting a reservation here. It's
Never
like,
gonna happen.
have you seen, what's the film? LA Story, not LA Confidential, LA Story, the Steve Martin film. Brilliant. It's one that starts off with, I've had 8 heart attacks, all of them imaginary. So I've been having such
vaguely a while.
yeah. It's an absolutely wonderful film, and it's such a gentle film. There's a restaurant called Lidio, and they're trying to get an appointment for it, and he has to get an appointment with the head, who is played by Patrick Stewart, as a Nazi restaurant owner. You think with a financial situation like this, you can have the chicken, you can order the duck. But then his friend just calls up and then gets an appointment straight away, and everybody else, it's like 3 months' time. So this place, it's a non-Euclidean booking system. But you're the Euclidean mathematics, as in 1 + 1 = 2. And then so he kind of walks you in, and the maitre d' kind of says, the usual table, Monsieur's fire. And he says, no, I want a good table this time. Certainly, sir. One without the electrical charge running through it. And then there's a spiral staircase, and you go up kind of 1 or 2 floors on this spiral staircase, and then you're on like a 15th or 16th floor view, just kind of looking over the Maquis Quarter and parts of the ruined city.
I want to go eat here. It sounds good.
Oh, we're here.
Yeah, I know.
And it is, you can, Stobold's sensibilities are stretched.
This is not a Stowbowl place to munch. Let's just put it that way.
Salted butter.
It's not a Roland place to do it either, sorry.
Pan roasted half chicken or rabbit, rosemary, onion, and garlic glazed creature of your choice, sweet potato fritter, pea shoot salad. I like the sound of that.
creature of your
Denouement.
choice. Denouement.
Crescendo denouement. Cookies a la milk. Scoops of blood orange sorbetto. R&D berry gelato and vanilla ice cream stacked in a tower of lemon crisps.
So not milk and cookies.
No. Chocolate and chocolate. Brown buttercream. Sable silk. Custard. Chocolate custard. Salted caramel topped with a whip of yesterday's cream.
How does one cream yesterday?
Oh, yesterday's cream. Oh, one of the passing waiters hears you kind of talking about it. Oh, yesterday's cream. We take the very memory of the finest, creamiest desserts that you have ever experienced in your childhood and then lightly whip it and then serve it again on the dish.
Sounds delicious.
Grits.
Okay.
Grits are not creamy, they're nasty.
And now I want to watch My Cousin Vinny.
Oh,
Ladies and gents, have you...
take a
creatures
look.
and gentlemen, Craig, have you dined here before?
I haven't, but I've had good things out of this.
Fantastic. We also offer a small selection of Oblivion mints, should one wish to recapture the essence of dining here for the first time once again.
Well, fortunately, this is a new experience for us all, other than our gentleman here. I nod at Crystal Fire.
And the waiter kind of looks at him. And then there's an almost imperceptible nod between the pair of them.
Look, it's actually like, ooh, what would I want?
No burgers then.
Slight knives.
I thought you'd like that. Living rainbow salad. But there's something there that could change your skin colour. It's only temporary, of course.
Crustacean bisque or baked potato
Right.
soup.
So now I've bought something from our teaser.
Yes.
They keep selling at me. They do hair chalks, like a whole range. Every colour in the room of hair chalk. It's like this art supply website, and because of my Pinterest searches, it keeps going, oh, you may like this, you may like this. Actually, they've got some brush pens that you can paint, you draw, then you can put water over the top and it blends them all, like watercolours, and then you can go back over and find details, which is totally up my skill. So that is my present for my mum. So she said, have a posh set of pens. And now they're like, have some hair chalks, have iridescent acrylic paint. Yes, I would like that.
What else can I want? Excuse me.
I think I'm going to have the crustacean bisque,
I've not chosen my main course. I'm like, I don't know.
followed by the red sun beef short rib, and the dreamery espresso. I'm really, really hungry now.
I know.
It's not like we fed you.
No, that menu just looked really good.
It's in a really odd, not real way. It's like, I really want to eat here. Ooh.
Is this something you created, or is it one of the
No, it's
things?
from the props envelope.
We need to figure out how to make some of
The
those
sound of the
recipes, because
spaghetti and meatballs is well-strung pasta, tangy marinara.
pasta, isn't it?
Oh, but no, well-strung.
Oh, strong.
You've put it well on pasta.
I
I
thought
just
they
think
were trying to
something-
mix over, because I keep reading it thinking it's going to be weird because it's a
Some of it is, but like tangy marinara sauce, 4 meatballs, and a 10-year palm.
I thought spaghetti would have been made out of the meat or something.
Oh no, it's normally strudel.
It's truly animated in the form of windswept grasses, growing in a pesto palm seascape. It's wild prairie pasta.
Strudel is a type of pasta.
Okay.
But basically
Apostate
it's normally
style, whole
animated
hidden
and
fish
it
of the
moves.
day. What's apostate style?
It's Gang's. It was a size slightly less successful follow-up to Gangnam Style.
Okay. Oh, so if we're talking Dragon Age 2 likes to blow shit up.
Huh?
Anders is an apostate mage.
Ah.
Which
So
this is horrible, but quite funny in a way. So did you hear about the house that got struck by lightning in Crown Hill? That's on Kirkwall Road in Thingy, and the town in Dragon Age 2 is called Kirkwall. And just it was like, that shouldn't be funny, but it's like, damn you, Anders! Because Anders is the character, and as part of his rebellion, decides to blow up the Chantry, which is like a symbol of badness against mages. So just in my head, I thought it was quite funny. I'm like, I feel really mean because somebody's lost their entire household, but still, the irony is not lost on me. So yeah.
Right.
Food.
That sounds nosh. I feel it's one of those places that you can probably order whatever you like. Even if it's not on the issue.
No. Because I think this gourmet conjurer Solenday is very specific. If it's not on the menu, you can't have it. Because you've thought about it intrinsically, how it works within your palate and your taste and its sense and smell, and he's like one of them kind of people.
Are you on the payroll?
If and Crystal Fire kind of looks around and says, well, if folks can't decide, there are 4 of us. We could have the special.
What's the special?
It's the special.
Yeah, right.
This town. Oh, it's got me like a ghost. Well, I've made my choices.
Okay.
I'm having the crustacean bisque, the red sun beef short rib, and the dreamery espresso.
I want the thing with tear salted butter.
Slight knives.
We have a cheese though. I think the spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and marbles.
3 more and chocolate and chocolate.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Tatty-tats.
Why, thank you, Rita.
Rock.
So, like I say, he's got this crystal, and you speak your orders into the crystal, and it kind of gradually fills up. I should take this to the kitchen straight away. And
Because you only risk that. You don't want a main course or a dessert. That's just too much for Stoneful. Crystal Fire orders a couple of bottles of wine. And so, to business. Thank you. It's taken a while, but we believe that the long game is where the play is to be. I'm still very much sensing a little bit of reticence on your behalf, which is to be understood. And I thank you for your forbearance. And I also thank you for this reticence. I am guessing very much that you wish to kind of quid pro quo. So, in the vein of the situation, as open as I can be, what would you like to know?
We've been approached by several demons recently. One in particular several times. Number 19. And we get the sense that demons are becoming more proliferate. Is that a word?
Proliferate.
Yes. And it's obviously a concerning state of affairs.
I've had to give up my favourite place of abode due to this demon infestation. The place that I've worked for such a long time and lived above and had no troubles and was comfortable. I was happy living above Penn and Teller's, and now it's something I don't recognise. That whole area of town I don't recognise, and have been there for years. Not that I don't mind living in the Rose, because become great friends and we're a little family, which is something I never thought I'd have, but still, something's happening to this town and I don't like it.
Make it stop.
Yes. Had my stampy moment.
We, at the Order Anisoptera, have been looking after this city since almost its inception. As I said, we've been playing a long game,
How long?
millennia.
What is the end of your game? What is the goal of your game?
The goal of the game is to preserve the city, preserve the indigo, preserve the entirety of the path of the suns against anything that seeks to disrupt it. Most notably, those entities known as demons of the dark, of which I believe your acquaintance, and then he kind of swirls his wine, and then it swirls up into like a little vortex and then forms a three-dimensional statuette image of Matty McConaughey, hey. I believe he's going by 19 at the moment, a promotion since the last time I had dealings with him. Then he kind of snaps the wine glass and it goes back down again, is such an example. You no doubt do not need me to point out that there are two types of demons, or there are many kinds of demons, but the two main kinds of demons are the demons of the red, which are inherently part of the path of suns. They are the demons that gentlemen such as Master Roland have dealings with on times. And whilst they can be wild and savage and hard to deal with and hard to work with, they are part of the natural order of the actuality. And the demons of the dark stand for the destruction of everything. And it is primarily them who we oppose.
Can I ask, with the balance of the universe, are they needed to be there to allow the path to exist and to keep it in balance? Or would removing them entirely from the equation be beneficial for the path?
Very astute question, Master Stowbold, and it is one that several of my colleagues have been debating for a great deal of time. The old adage that without darkness you cannot define light holds true in those things, but we do not know.
Is it something potentially to do with the... Because you've got the underside path, haven't you? Like that.
The night side.
dark side. Is it something that they're from there? Or you're unaware?
No, the night side is tricky to explain. It is part of the path of suns, and those who walk the path and walk it fully travel from silver down the path. As he kind of holds his hand up, it like an image of the path of suns, and then they kind of glow in the colours as he kind of traces it down. As they travel from silver down through the path to gold. To fully walk the path, one would then need to flip over, and then it kind of spins round, and then travel back up the night side path. It's inherently part of
It's part of the flow.
the actuality.
rather than the
Exactly.
balance of it.
And
Exactly.
the demons are not inherent to that. They
No.
are just...
They're
Just in the
demons of the
abyss,
dark.
really. In between and outside of.
Exactly.
Are you aware of a recent insurgence, swelling, growth?
Across every installation that we have under every sun, and even in the night side, there are more and more instances of demons of the dark being present and being more and more active.
I guess one question. can't remember if they've ever been told it, but also doesn't talk. Our part to play in this, you've brought us together for a reason, and you said there's a long game, so you've known that we were to have been involved as an entity at some point.
You may recall that when once we met some months ago, I divulged that we have, or the Order sees patterns. We have seers who are somewhat outside of the regular flow of time, and we see patterns and groupings of people that come together. Master Roland is aware of this phenomena. I believe you call them quartet. And these groups of people can work specifically well to achieve the various goals which are needed at the time. Our bringing of you five together.
The whole point is that 5 was the magic number here, isn't it?
Exactly.
I believe the phrase was, you will need to find the 5th dragonfly deep inside the silver sun, beneath the eternal obelisk, etched with bronze. And that was where we would find.
Gosh, how long ago was that?
And there's still stuff in the list that was not stuck in my noggin that we've never done. Yep.
But we're getting through our to-do list now.
And it seems that you, sorry, just quickly out of character for him, did you let him know that you'd found Eliana?
Not yet, not in this conversation. Yes, no. No, he knew that she was with us,
Yep.
and he knew that. We didn't necessarily tell him, but he kept asking details, and I never told him details.
Okay. And yes, so like any, I hate to use the phrase weapon, but it is the closest that English can have. Like any weapon, it needs to be complete, which is why the interest in finding your 5th.
In the interest of shared communication, I'm sure you are aware we did find our 5th.
We've lost her again.
We know exactly where she is.
Temporarily misplaced.
It's not misplaced. We know exactly where she is. We just can't
In
get
the
to
sand.
She's misplaced. She's not in the place I want her, so therefore she's misplaced. Yes.
Getting her back has proved tricky.
When is somebody going to marry that poor misplace? Make a Mrs. Place out of her.
How do you know she's a misplaced now?
Misplace.
She's been divorced. It was not a good experience for her.
Somebody, one of our international students, had asked about this. She's like, "Is Ms. when you've been divorced?" I'm like, "Not exactly, no." Trying to explain it to her, and she was just like, "I don't understand. Why do you do it?" It's a gender thing. Anyway, so yes, we found her. She was living with us for several months. She had a life with us, has a life with us. She developed a relationship, and the person she was with grew sick, and both of them have gone off to Vizsla, the Invisible Sun.
Now, given the fact that he's wearing a mask, like a
The
dragonfly,
bug eyes got
with
wide
bug eyes,
out.
the bug eyes, bug
He's
eye
like,
out.
how the hell did you manage that?
That is what my colleague assisted you with. Right. He's obviously he's done that thing again where he's lifted part of his mask up so he can eat. Your starters have arrived and they are.
Can I ask, because I obviously know Fred, and he removed the entirety of his mask at the time he came to help us. Who are you?
I
That's
really
about
want
to
to
eat my
know.
I was not expecting that question. I was about stuck into this food.
I
The hair smells good. Herbal essences.
They're really bad for like animal safety.
It's not herbal essences. Which one is it?
I heard it was. Well, I saw
No,
it
not
was-
that's bad for you. What I use. I
Timotei.
can't remember which one it is.
Timotei
Garnier,
is
the
made with
ultimate blends
Timotei.
ones. It's the ultimate blends ones because
Poor Tim.
it's not. They just happen to be vegan, but they're just really good with the hair at the
Someone
minute.
call me.
They
Tim?
do like
You know, he forgot his
hair.
line then.
Yeah.
They do hair butter, which is like ridiculously nourishing because my hair's not in the best place at the minute. The end bits, anyway, needs chopping.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I'd give you some time to think about who you might be because I'm not entirely sure you know.
I have been doing this for so long,
I'm not sure.
I believe I have forgotten who I was. I know what needs doing. I know the direction that the Order and groups such as yourself need to be taking. This is my life.
It's now or never.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty. You're trying. So we said about Eliana that she's there. We obviously may not be as strong without our fists, but we know who our fist is now. We are 5. Wherever we are joined. So there is a strength in that. So we know about these demons. Do you want to share anything with Crystal Fire about the thing that you went to go get from Blue?
Rather than say anything, I reach into my little kind of satchel and I pull out the Horn of Eld and put it on the table.
Up front.
Is
I have crashed.
is that even real?
Yup.
And he gives off an air. You'll have seen Buffy, right? You know when Giles takes his glasses off and cleans them? You can hear him doing that. Well,
A little further along your path than you thought.
just a touch, yes. You are full of surprises, Master Roland.
Be quiet, stomach.
He's got a lot to say.
What were you having, sorry?
This is the best timing ever.
That was the lobster. That was the lobster. The
crustacean
bisque.
bisque. Yeah, fighting
Let's
back.
go, get me out!
Shush!
Under the sea.
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
In my belly.
Oh, Tommy, he's got a comedy timing, mate.
Well played, Tom.
Okay, so the waiters come and clear the plates away, and then they kind of bring in the.
Yeah. The Horn of Eld goes back in
Yeah.
the bag. Would it be fair to say he's unnerved by the presence of the horn?
Yes. From the lore that I recall, the horn can only be retrieved by one of its lineage. So, by definition, I am guessing that you are of the line of Eld. Very, very rare that one in my position would say something like this. Did not see that coming. Any more surprises?
You've
Dennis in my pocket.
Yeah. We may have trapped Dennis in it. Oh, what are they called?
I think as well we should, and this is being very kind of, I want to be completely honest with him now, and are we okay with this?
Mm-hmm.
And I show him my tattoo, and you'll like lift up your arm and with all these tattoos of the rose, and
We are an unlikely bunch, but we have bonded through our adventures over the last.
But I think he's playing the long game, and he knows what the rose is. He knows that these tattoos mean something, that we're bonded around this. And there might be prophecy. There's prophecy. It's totally prophecy.
There's always a prophecy.
Okay. Prophecy says, go.
Didn't they do Firestarter?
5 shall come and 5 shall go. So sings the path of the rose. The depiction of the path of suns, and he kind of opens the thing up again, always has what people think are solar flares in the original maps of the actuality. The lines were always, and he kind of like changes it. It changes from being a kind of jagged, angular thing to being a twisting, sinuous rose stem with flowers for each of the suns in all the different colours, and then the spines that come off them are thorns.
In which case, as he kind of shows that, I draw one of my pistols and lay that on the table with the tracery of the rose.
Once again, and he pushes his mask up just a little bit
I don't feel
further.
so special right now.
And is he actually played by Anthony Head?
Is now.
It's now.
I Hawk feels so
He takes
insignificant between
his
you
thing
guys.
and just cleans his
I
Dragon
feel
Ball
so
eyes.
insignificant right now. I'm like, you guys are cool. I'm
He-
just here for the ride.
Lifts his mask up even a little bit further, and he's only ever taken it that far before. But he takes it up just a little bit further, and you can see, we're just going to say, can you all make a perception roll, please? The 26.
Right,
Totally
I'm going to
hasn't
use a Bene for that.
Benny.
8.
No.
5.
Okay. So that's just you get past it, yeah?
Yeah.
Come to you now, the turn of the tide. I sent Anne a picture of the table. She's like, oh man, I want to play.
Oh,
Who's that?
a friend of mine that I met when I was out in America, but she, her and David become quite good friends too. But she's lovely, absolutely lovely. Like her dad, her mum works for NASA and shoots lasers at the moon.
Laser.
But she's
It's reflected back at you,
yeah,
like-
just Anne's just lovely. She's We met over a mutual love of cute, all things cute, kawaii, and poker stickers at breakfast one day. And I was just like, I love you. And so we went in a group and all had our nails done at the, like, we had our pedicures and just, yeah. She's lovely.
Okay, so I think that's our load of information.
I'm going one more. I'm going to see if somehow I can make the eyes boggle even further. I take the revolver and put it back in its holster, and I say to him, "You've spoken of 19, and that you've had encounters with him in the past.
Yes.
What is he to you, and what is he to them?
And why is he so interested in us?
And why is he so interested in what we do?"
He is a key lieutenant in the armies of the Demons of the Dark.
Irritating as hell is what he is.
We believe he is the key agent being used to destabilise the path from the inside. Most demons of the dark are insidious at best, but they are one-dimensionally insidious. There is one called the enemy of sleep. There is one called the enemy of love. 19 has no such title.
There's something more about him then. He's... can't put a finger on what it is, but
We
he's
believe
uncomfortable.
he used to be Visley. Most demons of the dark are concepts, negative concepts, but concepts, because they consume.
Because he may be a Vizsla that chose to turn it.
What it is.
Correct. No, I'm a Vizsla that deliberately went to that side, maybe. Consciously.
I was corrupted.
Mm.
It's not beyond the pale.
Could be.
To the extent that he potentially was an agent of the enemy during the war.
Do you know who the enemy was?
Even my organisation was affected by the memory loss. We have had our suspicions. You are no doubt aware, or you will no doubt recall my previous conversation, that we believe that the Deathless Triumvirates and the Thar are complicit in what happened in the dying days of the war. We believe there are as yet many weapons that the enemy had left in the form of hate cysts, in the form of empowered demons of the dark, potentially such as 19. He may be one such weapon. It's why we keep such close eyes on him, or an attempt to.
Sorry.
I give Crystal Fire a kind of like a piercing sort of look, and I just say, "I know his name."
We did good, yeah.
So we may have taken some time to get to you, but
we've
have
not been
we've
idle.
not been busy. We've not been, yeah, we've not been.
Idle.
We have been busy. We've not been idle.
And he puts his hand he basically kind of puts his hand over the side of his mask and then pushes it up off his head,
Mm.
and he takes it off completely. And if you basically imagine Anthony Stewart head
Mm-hmm.
from there downwards, and he's got the hair in between the top of his nose and the top of his head, completely featureless, like blanked out eye sockets, nothing to them, no ears,
No glasses to clean.
no glasses to clean.
He looks like the Question.
Yeah, but it's slightly creepy because he still has his nose and mouth.
The plastic parts on the end of shoelaces are called aglets. Their true purpose is sinister.
G-L-E-T.
Don't forget it.
There's a TV show about aglets.
That was just one of my favourite lines from Justice League cartoon. Jeffrey Combs did the voice of the Question. And,
why are we not funding cloning Jeffrey Combs?
And yeah, he's, I think he might be with Green Arrow, but he's just spouting off all of his kind of like conspiracy stuff from Green Arrow. And they just pull up in the Arrow car to wherever it is that they're going, and just as they get out of the car, he looks at Green Arrow. The plastic parts on the end of shoelaces are called aglets. Their true purpose is sinister. And then he, with a like swoosh of the trench coat, off he goes into the night.
I would ask how, but I'm afraid that you would tell me. And do you know the secret of how to use that name?
No. But I was hoping you could tell me.
Doing the end of the secret
He-
world from Fire Dragon Overlord now.
Reaches out,
We're okay.
pulls down out of nowhere a book.
Happy because I fit back in it.
Magic. Is it in this one? Is it in this one?
Saint.
Would help if I actually had my glasses on, wouldn't it?
Have freshly cleaned them.
It's,
We say clean. If you have glasses, you'll discover that they will never
they
be
are
clean ever
never
again.
clean.
Even if you get cleaning spray and like prop them up, they will never be as clean as the first day you got them.
I can't use cleaning spray on these things.
Yeah.
The frames, because cleaning spray is alcohol based. The frames, because they're plastic.
Yeah, my other ones don't like it. Oh, I think I don't like them. But yeah, it's just smudges.
Isabel's got green glasses. She's like, I just clean them with air. That's not going to be better for you, darling.
So I don't wear these ones often, but they're not so bad. I turned them pink because of my hair colour.
Oh, have a look.
But what's really cool is I don't have the other stems.
It's a
but
level
I can show
10
you what you can do with
secret.
them.
I believe
I'm
that's
paid
the
for
one.
them, and I've got clear ones, but they've kind of got really odd patterns on them. But these fit, since I've lost weight, they actually fit my head better. But yeah, they're interchangeable.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I've got. I'll show you here. That comes off.
So I need to figure out the antigram.
Effectively, you need to learn that secret. It is a level 10 secret.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanically, it costs you 10 acumen to gain it, and in theory 10 weeks worth of study.
But again, we're in a long game.
But he can teach it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have a quick look
That's
at
like my
that
ultimate goal is
thing.
not
And
important.
you realise that it is a weapon. Effectively, this is him giving you the biggest weapon he can do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a phenomenal amount of trust.
So 10 weeks. I do not have the acumen to spend right now, so I'm going to start saving up some acumen.
Can we share? Can we give you ours?
Don't forget you can trade despair in. 2 points of despair can be used. It will give you. Sorry, 1 point of despair will give you 2 points of acumen.
So I can use 4 despair. That will give me 8 acumen. That will take me up to 11. And how many do I need?
10.
10. Let's do that.
Don't delete it just yet.
10-week montage.
No. I'll start now.
Yeah.
And
But I think you're basically agreeing that you will be under his tutelage for this time in this meeting. And we want to work with you together. We understand that it is a long game.
And we can't do it alone.
But we will, I think, will be happy to take direction. We are not your soldiers, you're not our general, we are independent, but we are working towards a common goal. And
Well, if there's this long game and that they knew that something like this was going to come,
we want to protect the rose. We have sworn our lives to protect the rose, and we now understand more what the rose is. And you have done the same.
we also need help to get Elena back. Potentially. Because if we're stronger when we're together, yes, we're together, but if we're stronger once we are
So you
together.
can all also add onto your character sheets under NPC bonds, Crystal Fire, 1 level.
Might not be written in the right place, but there's character ones. Oh, there we go.
I had the very, very, very odd sensation of writing a new Invisible Sun character sheet the other day, and it just felt wrong.
Good. We're in this for the long game, clearly. I feel this has been a really good meeting with you, Crystal. Can I call you Chris?
Dessert.
Yay, my chocolate and chocolate.
Monkey brains.
So what did you have?
I went for the espresso.
Oh, yeah.
Snowball didn't order anything. He just went with that starter.
Oh, they're hungry.
What did you go for?
I went for chocolate and chocolate.
No, for the starter.
The ones with the tiered butter and
The first one.
Oh, tear salt. Oh, homemade shadow bread.
yes,
Tear salted butter and sliced knives.
yes. The knives were spicy.
It's like I saw a meme that it's like you, a regular person, has a traumatic experiences. Me, an intellectual, have spicy memories.
So it's about any flavour that she has that's strong. Everything is spicy.
Yeah.
So if it's fizzy, it's spicy.
Spicy.
If it's sour, it's spicy.
That's the girl.
She just has the one word for it.
And
I had a spicy apple the other week. That's why I think I also violently sick. Pretty sure it was fermenting within its skin. You know when you eat something and it's kind of fizzes
Fizzy.
on your tongue?
Mm.
But I was dealing with other things, so I carried on eating it. And then I was violently sick.
So we went to Morrison's yesterday to have some lunch in the cafe whilst we went shopping and getting stuff. And I baked beans on a jack potato, and it came out tasting like
Cigarette.
cigarette ash.
Oh my gosh.
I was just like, what is it? And so I thought it was the pepper that I'd sprayed, put on it, which wasn't, but we think they'd burnt the beans, so I had to send it back. So I've got a refund and a £5 voucher for next time we go in.
Cool.
yeah. So they come around with dessert, with whatever desserts that you've ordered and coffees, and after dinner mints.
I think
Waffle
waffle.
thin.
Wafer thin, yeah.
So another thing that we've been looking into is hate cysts. and I think it would be behoven of you to go back to whoever you go back to and inform them of our conversation. So you obviously have a plan of some kind. See how this new information fits in that plan. Come back to us when you have ideas of what we can do. In the meantime, we can look into some of the hate system, try to clear up our current situation, our current city, our things at the moment.
Make this a better place.
Make this a better place. And possibly, because these hate cysts seem to be multiplying, the demons can feed on this negative energy more. And actually, if we start cleaning up some of these
The
things,
two may be linked.
we might be able to make small inroads into that, even if it's not the big picture.
Wonderful. Fantastic. He stands up. He says, "The meal is paid for. I must bid you adieu. Please enjoy the rest of your desserts and coffees and so on." And he stands up and turns round, and then he takes his cane that he's got and he draws the doorway fire and steps through it. And before he closes the door behind him, he kind of looks back and says, "Master Roland." And then he hands you a business card. Says, "Attach this to a normal door and it will bring you here when you are ready to begin your training."
Long days and pleasant nights.
And to you twice that number. And then he closes the door.
Cool.
Did you find that? Oh my god.
You'd want that. Table next to me. That looks good.
I have a very, very long fork.
May never get the chance to come back here again.
I'll have a doggy bag with their table, please.
Yeah.
They didn't order Taiwanese food.
Oh. Okay,
You just got
I think that went really well. I hope that we've trusted the right people.
No, I think
We needed to progress, and actually the information that the Path of Suns looks like a rose.
Mm-hmm.
we are mixed up in something crazy, but there's no going back now.
No. So, what are we gonna
That's fine.
call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
think that's kind of a
natural.
she's
Yeah.
okay.
Just as you're leaving, and you've kind of you've
Coffee turns up.
had your mince, the maitre d' kind of says, "It's been very, very good to see you again, Madam Hawk." And as you eat the mint, you forget that you've been here.
You've been here before.
Sorry.
You forget that you've eaten here.
So we all forget that we've eaten here.
You don't forget the conversation. That's all still there.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
But-
That's invisible. So.
I've been here before,
You've been here before. The maitre d' knows you.
but I don't remember that now.
No, but the radio knows you, so you've been here enough times.
That's what we call a GM shift.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Which I used to get to. Good all know.
Question. If we forget we've eaten here, where were we when we had this conversation?
Oh, you were in his study.
So we have not. That's almost. We can't do anything with that now.
I've had half my brain wiped out a lot. My brain has been seriously messed with. I don't know what's going on anymore. That's why I can't focus. Why I think I'm struggling to get anywhere with what I'm trying to do because I can't remember half of it.
Let's look at your little brain.
Spicy memories.
Spicy, yes, spicy memories, exactly. That's it. So I know I
I've
had these
got-
goals, but what were they?
Withstand of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Can I remember a bit of that? That we were here.
Yeah, make me check.
I'm going to drink a bit of milk. Brings
Okay.
it down to what?
Okay. You can do 2 successes on this one as well.
So I need to do a magic.
Yeah, so point of sortilege. And a red dice as well.
Dressed as
Don't
well.
have a make.
Totally don the black wig and come dressed as Hawk.
Oh,
Flex.
you've done it,
Flex the
Dave.
magic.
Flex.
Not only do you not remember the meal, you can't remember how to eat.
I'm so hungry.
I'm hungry.
Don't suppose you have battery operated tea lights?
No.
No, I
You
did.
have some of those,
Yeah.
but I don't know where they are.
They're on the window sill.
No, tea lights. Thank you.
No, I did, but I not anymore because I had to get it tied. Yeah, the thing that you can't really get hot. I've got tea lights, but battery powered ones.
So, thinking back to the conversation that we just had,
Right.
sat in Christopher's
Study.
study,
Mm-hmm.
he got some food for you because he always had that buffet table that was in there anyway. You were sat around a table just kind of with the plate of things from the buffet. And when he took his mask off, it was Eliana's father. So in your memory, you didn't see the kind of eyeless, featureless Anthony straight ahead. You saw Eliana's father.
Which is incorrect, but I don't know that.
Or is it?
Or is it? Oh. Plots within plots. Okay, cool. Can somebody write that down? So I'm not very good at
Yeah.
writing down
And
stuff.
brain fuck.
And I'll tell you that that's what I saw. Isn't it weird that that was Aliena's father?
I can't remember. Yeah, no. Was it?
Doesn't it have previously withstood that?
Right. Oh, excuse me.
Your excuse.
No.
So, end of session. Who wants to go first?
Joy for me.
Yep.
Because I know how to kill 19. I'm
Or
very
have the
happy.
means to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm now getting the means to kill him, and I also think I'm progressing on my arc to get revenge on 19.
What did he do to you?
What's one of your steps tonight? You might make an actual progression.
I don't think we've ever actually determined things. So you've got a weapon for it. I will call that a step.
Yep.
On that arc there. Any progress on any other arcs?
Well, my other arc is to protect the rose, and again, possibly we've
You
made
now
allies.
know that the rose is the
The
path
path
of
of the
suns.
So, big day all round in Roland's house.
My character arc is just a new discovery.
So that is 1
You
joy
can add
and
some
6 acumen.
character arcs.
I think the new
Can we add
discovery.
some character arcs now?
Anytime. Anytime.
Because I feel that this is the beginning of a big character arc that we're kind of sharing.
Because the new discovery is like, originally, my concept was to create that ultimate thing, but seem to be whatever, kind of pulled away from it. It's not important anymore because I've
But you
kind
can
of.
leave it there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a secret side of whatever the hell that I've been up to.
Yeah.
Is also a discovery because it's new to me that there's this whole part of my life that
But
seems to be
maybe
hidden.
there's one, because there's different arcs, aren't there?
Mhm.
Maybe there's one about restoration, about knowing oneself.
Yeah.
Have you got the arcs?
Yeah.
And you could mean that to be the restoration of your mind, memories, or restoration of your peace because you've done these stressful things before.
Because I know that previously that I was, somebody would come to for ale stuff, not necessarily a shady witch doctory kind of thing, but
The arc is called Uncover a Secret.
Mm.
There is knowledge out there that you want. This arc is a great way to get one of the secrets in the chapter house and character and house secrets that the GM has said aren't readily available. Likewise, it could be an attempt to find and learn a specific rare spell or ritual. It could be a hunt for a lost magic word or key that will open a sealed door, the name of the devil, the secret name of an important person, or just how the Arabast fashioned their windows in ancient times. Or I want to learn about my past. I
Yeah.
want to unborn myself.
uncover a secret.
Opening the arc cost you 2 acumen.
Which I have.
Naming the secret, the first step.
Because there's different steps, so you can
Yeah.
understand yours.
Yeah, I need to get the steps down for my new discovery.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what it is, I just don't really know.
But the first step is naming the secret. You get a 1 acumen reward. You'll give your goal a name. For example, I am seeking the lost martial art of the Kendricks, who could slice steel with their bare hands. Or I am seeking to uncover who I am. I am Groot. Can you see the real me? But it gives you a 1 acumen reward for doing that, and I think.
So there's only 1 acumen you really cost.
Yeah, I would believe that the events of this evening have both opened it and done that first step. In general, however, this evening, joy or despair?
Joy. I did think, well, oh yeah, because I've gained lots of awesome stuff to be able to create with, but kind of screwed over. Like, I feel bad about that country, or that a little bit,
I
but
feel bad about that little pocket dimension that we just doomed.
that we
but,
might have
yeah.
doomed. But do you know what? But also, I need to try and find Zathras. I feel like his home within my solitaire is where he should be.
Oh. And Stuggold.
I feel joy
You got that all back
because
thanks.
I feel this is kind of what I'm made to do, like right roles, and I feel I'm making progress in it.
Mm-hmm. Any progress along your?
No, but I want to change. I want to add something.
Okay.
But I think I'll do that with you and kind of maybe a side one.
Yep.
Because I've got the mysterious secret about researching myself, but that hasn't been this. Wow. So I had one redemption. Finding child, identifying their needs, making good, moving on.
Yep.
But actually, I feel that we've kind of identified her needs, sent her away, making good. And actually, this is the moving on part. This is the
last step.
yeah. So yeah, okay. I think I've kind of completed that, which was like 3 steps I've done on completion.
So what? That was a
It's almost
redemption
like a
arc, wasn't it?
realization of that too.
Yeah.
Huh?
So do you reckon that arc is
Complete.
complete?
Yeah.
That was a redemption arc, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Have we awarded you joy for completing that arc at all?
No.
Okay. So you get 3 acumen for doing the
Steps.
steps. No, actually you get 4 because resolution
The double.
is the last one.
Yeah.
And do you believe that you perform an act that you hope will redeem your past misdeed? A successful resolution results in 1 joy, failure results in 1 despair.
I think I'm performing that act. That is the next
Okay.
iteration, you know? So I think that actually I've got that child back, and the whole thing was about protecting her against things that would harm her because of my dead friend. But she's in the safest place I know. And I'm making this world better for her and for everybody else.
So you've only got either the joy or despair to claim off that now.
Joy.
Joy?
Yeah. Huh? And then my other one is under wrong. Learn specifics of hate, sister, and joy stripping. Post propagators of this practice. Stop them from doing it again. Clean up the mess. So that's going to be next stages. So I haven't progressed on those ones. I don't think for this session. Are we doing sessions? You've already done it.
I've put there's 2 joy there.
Cool
1
beans.
for the.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I
folks.
love
Thank you.
that.
That was a brilliant session.
That
was
was cool.
amazing.
One thing that I've discovered that's quite scary with Android phones is that if you upload it, your Google profile,
Yeah.
and you go to like high Wi-Fi network works that you've been, you don't have to re-put in the passwords. It knows.
Yeah, it backs up your Wi-Fi settings.
I did not know that. So everywhere I've been with my phone, I'm like, I'm not. How do you know that phone?
I don't need to keep that anymore, do I? Because it's like,
Oh my god, look how big Rupert's got.